Okay. Got a new Destiny 2 video. Now, I'm a Pulse main. The fabled dad of Yor in Destiny 2. I'm too old to be jumping around with no damn shotgun. I do use shotgun, I hate hand cannons. Well, the only gun I really hate in the game is snipers. Don't ask me why, but I cannot snipe for shit. It's almost like a weird mental thing with me. I can't. It's like if I try to play with a sniper, I end up tilted all the time. It's mental, you know. So imagine trying to play with tilt like all the time. That would be me trying to snipe. I've pretty much mastered or at least become competent with every single weapon or playstyle in this game. Except perhaps grenade launchers is the other one I've never really... The special weapon grenade launchers. That's the other one I've never really used. And I've played quite a bit with snipers, but I just can't get them down. And like I said, it's like playing on tilt 24/7 for me, and I can't do it. It drives me nuts. And hand cannons are the second ones I just don't like, but I feel like if I play long enough with those, I start seeing improvement. I start seeing their potential. I can do those, I think. I can be like okay with them. Mind you, I'm like a 1 KD overall. I can do good. I can, run about a 1.5 KD or something like that and quick play pretty easy. I can, usually most quick play lobbies, I'll be like 1 or 2 frag. A lot of times I'll run a 2, 3, 4 KD or efficiency, whatever they call it. But my overall lifetime KD in all of Destiny 2 is like exactly 1.00. I'm pretty bad in comp, although I don't have a team. That's one of my things. So I always go to LFG or I just solo comp. And solo comp's impossible because the algorithm wants you to win 50%. So, anyways. I can get to like 3,500 glory under the old system with solo comp, but then I kind of top out. So I don't know. Anyway, so I'm I would say decent. I play a ton, but I'm not very good. And my reflexes get older and slower by the day. But anyways, let's go to, so I'm a pulse rifle guy. So when I get a new season, I start looking for the pulse rifles more than anything. I'd probably be a scout guy if they were better, but they're not. They're also kind of boring. Pulse rifles, I have to admit, are kind of like more fun, more potential. But yes, and so on this new season, I started checking out all the new weapons, looking for pulses. I think there's a new 390 RPM. I can talk about pulses like most of the PvP idiots will talk about hand cannons only, because that's the only viable weapon. That's a different video of how terrible Bungie's balancing is. But, and I think I'm going to make one on Chris Proctor, the lead designer, and how he ridiculously makes excuses for why hand cannons are the only viable weapon really in PvP, and how the meta is more stale and probably the least diverse it's ever been. After the last patch, I literally heard people saying, I think this is the most diverse meta the Destiny's ever had. And I just wanted to pull an eyeball out. I mean, where do these people live? Literally the top 15 is hand cannons, shotguns, and snipers. Literally. I think Shayura's Wrath was the top primary last I looked, and it was 15th in usage. Every single thing was a shotgun, a hand cannon, or a sniper rifle. And then, out of the top 30, maybe 2 or 3 are not hand cannons, shotguns, and sniper rifles. It's unreal, and then people call that a diverse meta. But I digress. Anyway, so I like pulse rifles. So I checked out the pulse rifles. I found out you can pretty much go on LightGG and look at the latest season, because there wasn't a good place to look up, let's say you want to look up all the pulse rifles on Destiny, and you can't really, or I couldn't find a spot to, but I found it on LightGG. You can look up I don't remember where, database seasons or something like that, and you can look at least, and it sort of sorts all the weapons to the top. There's still not a way to like sort by pulse or whatever, but you know, there's only like 40 new weapons, so and they're all right at the top, so you can see them all. So you can just look through there manually and go, oh, there's a pulse. There's only like 3 or 4 new pulses, I think. And all this new, it was around before, but there's a lot of reprised weapons. So yeah, this one, Legal Action 2. There's another one, like I said, I'm really excited to try, which is the Iron Banner one. It's called, it's a 390, and we don't get many of those, and most of those we do are Suros. And I have this weird, like Last Perdition, I have this weird hang up about Suros pulses, that there's something wrong with their low zoom sights. I swear, they just don't hit right, they don't aim right, or they don't, it's hard to aim precisely with them, and I never realized this till a cool guy just offhandedly mentioned in a video. He probably wouldn't even know what I was talking about, but it was a cool guy just mentioned in a video how it's hard to precisely aim with the sights or something. And then I noticed it, and it's like ever since then I can't unsee that Suros pulses are just not good somehow. You can't, it's hard, you need the low zoom scope, because those are the best scopes in most times, and then once you use the low zoom scope, they don't, the slow 10 and the slow 12 on the Suros, they don't aim right. It's weird, but like you never see Last Perdition, and it's the same basically gun as Bygones, and it's so easy to get. You go buy it from the gunsmith most of the time, Last Perdition. And before then, it dropped like candy from Shacks for like a year. I mean, it's like the easiest, probably the easiest to get gun in the game, and yet nobody uses it. Yet, remember Bygones? You know, it was so, because it's not Suros. So anyways, I don't like Suros pulses. Something about their sights, they're just not, there's just something wrong with them. So, to me, it's a big deal when a gun is not a Suros, like, and the new 390 Pulse is not a Suros. And there haven't been many 390s, so I think it has big potential. It's the Iron Banner one, though, and Iron Banner hasn't come around yet. And I know some people were cashed in their bounties, and lucky, and getting them. I should have saved some. But then again, I need all my bounties to get to top power every season, so I don't know. But anyways, so the new pulses, there wasn't much. There's there's Darkest Before. I think there was just about 3. Or maybe 4, but I think just 3. I think there was Darkest Before, which I guess is like a Trials reprise. I remember it. I've been playing Destiny 2 for the whole time it's been around, since the alpha. But it's a 540, and it drops in Prophecy Dungeon. And being the 540s are like okay right now, but nothing amazing. And for that, you can just use a Time Worn Spire or a good skipper. I have a pretty good Time Worn Spire, a lot of good Time Worn Spires. And they're not amazing. They're kind of second tier. They're like decent, but 340s are definitely king right now. And I think if a good 390 comes along with Bygones, it can challenge for the top spot. But not a Suros 390. But anyway, so, and then there's but I don't think you can all kill clip, and that's kind of a problem. This 390 that's coming, I forgot the name of it. It's the new Iron Banner Pulse. I forget the name. So I think it might be called Servant Leader or something. Or that may be the Scout. One of the two, this new Iron Banner Scout or Pulse, is called Servant Leader. I think that may be the Scout, which is 260 RPM. Randy's throwing knife wannabe, whatever you call it, copy. I don't know, because people just know that gun. Anyways, there's another 260 Pulse called Contingency Plan that just dropped for me. I'm gonna try it out. But I know the gig with 260 Pulses. They're okay. They're really fun. At times, at first, you'll think they're overpowered. But then they kind of wear on their welcome after a while. And I don't know. I don't like full auto firing guns in general. They're pretty decent, but okay. So moving on to the Pulse for the 50th time. Another thing I will say I don't like, and I wish some Destiny resource could exploit this, is I don't know where there's these new guns I'll see, right, or I'll hear about them on Reddit or whatever, and but it's like you don't know where they drop. You know, you may see them, somebody kills you with them in the Crucible, whatever, but you don't know where that gun drops. I mean, some of them you can just kind of tell by how they look. Like you can look them up and, oh, that looks like an Iron Banner gun or whatever. And some of them they'll kind of tell you, like, if this one had any reviews on Light GG. I don't think it does yet. See, even though they claim 17% of people have it, it has no reviews. If there's reviews on Light GG, a lot of times those people will tell you where to get it. But there's they definitely should. There should be a resource, if possible, that tells you where, because there's new guns coming out this season that you want, and you don't know where they drop. You know, where does this come from? You know, I hate that. I think there's a new pulse. There's something new in Gambit that was interesting. I can't remember if it was a sidearm pulse or I want to say scout. I think that servant leader scout rifle was actually a Gambit scout rifle. Anyways, as usual, I've done the typical talking about stuff thing and spent 10 minutes on tangents and not even talked about the subject of the video yet, which is Legal Action 2. And like I said, it's a pain in the butt because you never know where anything drops from when it's new. But I just figured, I got killed by this and I saw it was a pulse. So I was interested in it, and I looked it up. I saw it, but I didn't know where it dropped from. But I just went and started spending my gunsmith tokens to get some of the new guns. And sure enough, I got several. I got the contingency plan. I got something called Spoiler Alert, I think, a sidearm. And I got this. So I did find out, which I believe makes it what they call a world drop when it comes from the gunsmith, which are hard to farm because there's so many. You know, the loot pool is so diluted there. Now, I have like 3,000 or 30,000. I think 30,000. I have some insane number of gunsmith tokens. I haven't really used them in many seasons because there's nothing worth hunting for or anything. But I think I'm going to spend quite a few trying to get one of these. Now, I've already gotten 2 to drop, but both of them were pretty terrible rolls. By terrible, I'll have to look through the rolls. See, this seems like it doesn't even show the new rolls. This is the old one. I don't know where the new one is. I don't know why it's showing me this one. But anyways, yeah, why is it showing me this one? I don't know. So this one's not going to... This one's not going to give me the correct perks and everything. Fork. Hold on. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I pulled up the correct roll of this pulse rifle, the new one, as opposed to that one was the old collections item. So I can look at some true stats of it. Let me see. Messenger, yeah. I wanted to kind of compare him to the Messenger, and perks. And I'll be finding out the God roll, quote unquote, as I go along with you, because I don't know what it is either. I just found about this gun. So I got it, and yeah, I got a couple of them from the gunsmith. Both of them were terrible rolls. By terrible, I mainly mean they didn't have kill clip or, you know, heating up or anything like that. Mainly kill clip is what you need on a pulse for quick play, or in my opinion for comp. Anyways, oh yeah. So what's fascinating about this gun is if you look, and it's a new thing you need to pay attention to. Zoom, okay? And I didn't know, but it's a big deal if you're like a Crucible scientist, you know. Zoom really affects your range hard. And zoom value, look at the Messenger, okay? Zoom is 18. Zoom is 22. It may not seem like a big deal, but it's a huge deal in how much range the gun has. And also, it's how, like, zoomed in the gun is, right? Just like snipers where you want low zoom and everything. Now, high zoom is kind of bad because it zooms you in and you're not as, like, aware of your surroundings and whatnot. But it's also kind of good because it gives you much more range. And I guess it's just kind of a trade-off. Do you want, you know, which do you... And so I was worried about this 22 zoom, and I still am. Because I've only played like 2 matches with this gun. Okay, the first one I was really tired, and I did really bad. And I was like, this gun seems like trash. Then I took a nap, came back to the game, and I just played again. And it was a lot of fun, and I was pretty much slaying out with it. And really seeing some of the potential that it has. So now I'm all gung-ho on it, but if I play 10 more games, I'll have a better idea. So this is kind of a very early review. But the main thing about this gun is going to be the zoom, for better or worse. You know, time will tell if that zoom is awesome or not so great. Well, let me tell you what this zoom gives you. You can go to a site called Destiny Range Calculator. You can pick whatever archetype you're in, pulse rifle. And, oh shoot, I forgot. I think mine has like a 75 range stat on my particular Legal Action 2. But overall zoom tier, this will really look at, okay, so say this is, okay, it'll put the default in there. So a normal pulse rifle, like let's say it'd be Bygones, has a 17. So that means the minimum, this is the number you want to pay attention to. It's where damage fall off starts. Their term for it is mid-range ADS or something. You don't need to worry about this. I think this is like the range where it doesn't fall off anymore, but that's like so far. Nobody's using a pulse rifle with 70 meters. You just get a lot of ghost bullets and stuff. This is what you want to pay attention to. It's where damage fall starts. It's the gold standard that everybody measures guns by in Destiny 2. So on a normal pulse rifle, it's like 33.4 meters, right? So around 33.5 meters, let's say. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that pulse rifles have a slower curve of drop-off. So although it may start at 33, if you compare that to a hand cannon that also started at 33, the hand cannon is going to fall off to where like it's really falling off at like 36. The pulse rifle will still have like 80% of its power at 36. I don't know how to put it. Maybe not 80%, but the pulse rifle falls off much slower. I will give them that. Hand cannons have too much range, but pulse rifles do. They fall off the damage a lot slower. So like a pulse rifle that can go out to 33 might have an effective range of like 38, 39. Whereas a hand cannon that falls off to 33, it's probably pretty done by like 36. I don't know the exact numbers, but pulse rifles do have a more gradual range fall off curve, they call it. Something to keep in mind. So they have longer range than it seems by their minimum range, sort of, a little bit, by their damage fall off start distance. But, okay, let's say, okay, here we go. All we gotta do is change this nut. Remember this gun here has a zoom of 22. It's a pulse rifle. So let's change that. This little range calculator. Look how the range is going up. Now it's 43. It went up from 30, it went up 10 meters by that zoom factor. Now that's a lot. Now, I use a couple pulse rifles that are like the gold standard, the Messenger, for example. My roll will hit like 42 meters, I think. It has an 18 zoom, but like an 86 range stat or something like that on my particular Messenger. Or it has like a 92 range stat, maybe. Or it has at least like an 82. It has a really high range stat, my particular Messenger. It's one of them anyway, which is the main one I use, really. It's really good. I forgot the exact range stat, whether it was 92 or 82. Maybe 82. So if you took like my Messenger, but it's only an 18, it's only an 18 zoom. So take it down to 18. I'm only at 35.4. And then the range stat though is like an 82 at least. So yeah, it's up to like 39 for my Messenger. I want to say it's higher than that. I want to say it's like 86 at least, something like that. Yeah, it's so you're right around 40 meters for that gun, which is pretty far. And then the fact that they extend that their damage fall off is a lot more gradual means you're capable of engaging out to like 45, maybe even pushing 50 meters with that pulse rifle, which is nice. So, like I said, so the big thing about the Single Action 2 is, wow, it has a really high zoom. I know this is a zoom that a lot of scout rifles have. A lot of them even have less zoom than this. I think Mida Multi-Tool might be at a 20 zoom. Yeah, I think it is. So, it says more zoom than Mida. This has a lot of zoom. There's some scout rifles I know that do have a 22 zoom, but... So, like I said, so my particular, Legal Action, I think it has like around, it has a pretty high range. Let's say 78, something like that. It has pretty high range. So 22 zoom, 78, you get up to, it's 47 meters damage drop off. That's a lot. That's a significant jump over my Messenger and my Stars and Shadow, my main pulses that I use all the time. And so this is a quantum leap in range. This is scout rifle territory, So that's what makes this gun so interesting. So, and I was using it, I was really doing, it's not going to damage fall off much within normal ranges, which you do see some on like the Messenger. So I'm really intrigued. This last match I did really good with it. And I was playing on Pacifica, which is, now the enemy team was not that good. So, it always, competition plays into it. But one other thing I think if you're going to use this gun is you're going to want to really make sure your mid-range and low range is out to mid-range is covered, because that high zoom is going to make it be better as like a laning weapon and a longer range weapon. So you're going to want to, I think, make sure your mid-range is kind of covered. So I was using it with Shayer's Wrath. I think that worked really great. I was getting like probably half my kills with Shair's and half with the Pulse, because Shair's is really good in that mid range doing work, you know, and then and it goes out to like 20-25 meters, has really high range for a SMG. And then for the longer range, the laning, I was, you know, cleaning up with this pulse rifle. So, like I said, what makes this really interesting is that zoom. It's going to be a catch-22. It may not be good on close range maps. It may, you know, may be problematic for closer encounters or even mid-range encounters. I need more time with it. But as of now, I'm loving, like, you don't have to worry about damage fall off hardly at all. 47 meters to even start damage fall off is crazy, you know. That's damn near 50 meters to even start. And remember, pulses are good. Like, it may be a good duel to like 55 meters, you know. It's not to say it won't lose any effectiveness, but they have a lot of very gradual range fall off. So that's crazy, you know. Like, man, it's going to be fun. I felt like it has a good scope and everything, too. Fairly good. Now, the stats, again, I'm learning this just as you are, a lot of these. I compared it to my messenger on my character, where I would like equip the messenger and then right trigger to compare. I don't know if you know, you can do that on console. You know, I'm sure you can do something like it on PC. And I was noticing it, like when I first got it, I was noticing, oh, this is way worse than it was like in the red. Every single stat that mattered: range, stability, handling, reload speed. They're all like red, and a decent amount too, like a quarter inch. I was like, oh man, this thing's terrible compared to the messenger, and it probably is. But it'd be pretty much a useless gun. You can see its stability is lower, range is lower, handling is lower. Handling is going to be a problem. Aim assistance is lower. Everything's lower on this gun. But the one thing that redeems it, and makes it not just a poor man's messenger, is that zoom factor. That makes it really intriguing. So I definitely think you should pick it up. I was pretty much slaying out the last match, and I was loving it. And I don't even have kill clip on it, which I consider a must for pulse rifles. I was still just loving it. Again, I'm not sure how the precision is going to be because the stability is pretty low, you know. So as far as like two bursting, which is really hard to do with 340s anyway, especially on controller, very rare thing to see. But you do want them, and as far as getting them, you're going to want the max stability. So let me look at the perks. Like I said, I'm kind of looking at these live too. I believe I did notice it had kill clip. Oh, it doesn't get kill clip. Oh man, that's a problem. So wait, these perks, are these correct? I don't think these are correct either. Yeah, because I have Wellspring on mine. Yeah, I think I have like Heating Up and Wellspring on my current one, which is way better than my other roll, which is even worse. That's nice, but there's no punch. Like Heating Up is nice, but it needs to be paired with like kill clip or something. So yeah, there's no kill clip. I didn't know that. That's a problem. That's a problem right there. That's rough. Well, it's still going to be a lot of fun though. It was still fun just in base form, not even having kill clip. And you know, it's going to really give unprecedented range for a 340 pulse rifle. I noticed it on like the first time I mentioned that somebody was killing me with it is why I went to look it up, and he was dueling me, and I had my Stars and Shadow, my trusty, which is just an absolute beast. You know, it's got kill clip, surplus, and you know, it's got insane stats and all this stuff. You know, it's got like 75 range or something like that, so it ranges out to like 40 meters. You know, it's a great gun. It's got like I forgot the perks. I don't know, it's got awesome perks. I mentioned that it has kill clip and surplus, but even just like the regular perks are like accurized and stuff. It has really amazing stats and stuff. Yeah, I think it has accurized because it has a really high range stat. So, you know, it's an amazing gun. I put it up there with the Messenger all that. I think it's better than the Messenger, to be honest, because I noticed that when I was looking at my stats, that like with the Messenger, I was only creating like 54%. I know that sucks. And with the Stars and Shadow, I was creating like 60%. That's a big deal. And so whenever I looked at like my last 50 games, I think is all they let you look at on Destiny Tracker. So I'm like, well, this is showing that I'm more effective with Stars and Shadow because I'm getting like a significantly more crit percentage with it. Probably because it's a lot more stable with surplus. I think that's another thing. I think I got like steady rounds or something maybe. I can't have accurized and steady. Whatever, the stability is really high, especially once you figure in even one stack of surplus. The stability on that thing's off the charts. I have another one with like a Zen Moment and Kill Clip or something like that that's even more stable. But yeah, so my Stars and Shadows is like the gold standard of my pulses. After seeing that I have a higher crit percentage with it, and the range is a little less than my Messenger, but I honestly think it's my very best pulse rifle bar none. I love the sights. I think it's better than Messenger. I don't have a Desperado Messenger, but I have a Desperado. That's a whole other tangent I could go on for an hour about. I think Desperado's overrated, basically. I mean, I have Redrick's Claymore with Desperado. I can take it out and play it in quick play. You know what? It sucks. Like, I don't, you know. I mean, honestly, Kill Clip is Desperado, but it doesn't throw your aim off because you're not bouncing your sights around a mile a minute. But anyway, you know, people go argue all day with you, oh, Desperado's better. You can proc Desperado whenever you want. Well, also, Desperado requires a critical kill to perk, and Kill Clip only requires any kill. You know, they'll say, oh, Desperado, you can just keep procking it over and over. You can usually do that with Kill Clip too. And, you know, oh, Desperado last, you know, they'll go on and on. But from what I can tell, Kill Clip's better than Desperado on these pulses. Like I said, I don't have a Desperado Messenger. I have a few Messengers, but I never got a Desperado one. But I do have Desperado on my Redrick's Claymore. It's sitting in my vault. The Sunset one, I can take it into, or Redrick's, whatever. There's different versions, but I have some of them. Those Redrick's Broadsword or whatever, I think. I think the latest one was Claymore. Whatever. I have that legendary one, and so I can take it into quick play and play with a gun with Desperado that has almost exactly the same stats as the Messenger. And guess what? It sucks. Anyways, so I'm going to take the leap of faith that a gun with almost the exact same stats called the Messenger with Desperado would also suck. But anyways, so yeah, I didn't know. I'd like to try this, although I don't know how good it would be in a pulse rifle. Yeah, I didn't know it can't roll Kill Clip. That's tough. Rampage would be nice, but it's not the same. And the magazine's only 27, I think. It's not going to have enough rounds to go crazy with Rampage. A curated roll would be nice. But yeah, you get it in the gunsmith. I'm gonna go pump a lot of tokens in the gunsmith. I didn't know it can't roll Kill Clip. That is a major bummer, but I'm loving it so far. It's gonna have unprecedented range. So give this sucker a shot. Like I said, cover your middle range. I think an SMG is great because to 25 meters, you're mowing people down with that SMG. That's 25 meters. This is a lane monster. So yeah. I'll have to check. It does kind of need, if this is correct and the recoil direction is 70, it does kind of need counterbalance, which sucks. If you could get one with Arrowhead Brake, though, that would be really nice. Man, Arrowhead Brake could be a beast on this thing because it kicks that low handling up. I think mine has surplus anyway, so it handles pretty good. But you could kick that low base handling up, and then you could the recoil would actually be 100, which should be good, I believe. I put a counterbalance on mine because it's 70. What else would you want? Honestly, I like this. I don't like a hit to range, but 15 stability would be very nice. Accurate is always pretty good. Or Ricochet, is it? No, it's Accurate. Faster, flared. You're not going to want extended. I have that on mine too. I don't want the greatly decreased reload speed though. You'd want appended for Rampage. Yeah, a really great roll would be like Arrowhead, appended, and probably, to be honest, the one of these that's honestly going to do the best good is probably Surplus. But the only thing I don't like about Surplus is how it kind of changes the stats of your gun on the fly. But I love it when I love my guns with Surplus. So I think that's just like a mental thing, not a real world thing. It's just like I don't like the idea of my gun stats changing. In practice, I don't care. Yeah, there's something that some people think that like if your guns you want to learn your gun in and out, you want to have it all be muscle memory, so that you don't want your stats, with surplus say it's going to behave differently if it's got 1 stack, 2 stacks, whatever. So you're never going to like perfectly know, become one with your weapon more or less. But surplus seems pretty, seems great to me. But I do worry about that a little with it. It'd be nicer if it was like floored at 1x or something, like you could never go to 0x or something. It'd probably be OP. It's almost arguably OP now. Yeah, heating up and heating up is the final boss. Yeah, you probably want heating up with Rampage but I mean, surplus gives you so much stuff, reload speed and all that. It's kind of a tough call there. So you probably want one of those too. Feeding Frenzy got nerfed. I have some guns with it, but I can't remember if they. Moving Target is another great one. That's what I have on my best messenger, I believe. Killing Wind, I'm not that big of a fan of. Yeah, you definitely want Rampage. I haven't tried Frenzy, but being that it's asking for, I don't know. I'd have to try it. I don't have a lot of guns with that. Combat for extended time. I don't know how they define that. I remember, but I don't remember. Definitely don't want Osmosis. Wellspring's okay. I have it. Thresh, Adrenaline Junkie, terrible. Yeah, so I guess you'd want Rampage and I guess heating up, but it's a tough call. I'd want a surplus and Rampage and a heating up and Rampage. Compare. But yeah, so that's the secret of this gun. This number right here is why it's something to look out for. Why I'm at the very least, I don't know if it's going to be the new Meta 340 or anything, but I'm just having a ton of fun with it. That's the name of the game. Pair it with the Shair's Wrath, and it's tons of fun. And it's great too. We'll see just how great over time.